G'day there, Chris Walker speaking, and welcome to the 30-day challenge. This is just a short introduction because really the 30-day challenge hasn't started yet. You're 7 days out. Presented on this page, you'll see some, on the page of the website, you'll see some books, and each book is designed to take a maximum of 1 hour to read. So if you're taking more than an hour to read each book, you're dwelling too long. That's not the intention. The intention is that they're extreme skills for busy people, so we don't want busy people to be occupied reading all the time. But by the end of the next 7 days, by the time we hit the track on day 1, it would be fantastic if you could get all those books skimmed through. It really adds up to about 8 hours of reading in 7 days, an hour a day, and as you'll see from the lifestyle process we work on, we're recommending an hour a day of reading and learning new material for the rest of your life. So it's kind of like a good time to start. So let's talk a little bit about the 30-day challenge. The difference between what I do and what the classical help model is that I work in cycles. Now, you can see from this chart that medications for stress and the incidence of depression is on the increase. Now, the statistics only go to 2010, but bottom line is it's on the rise. And this is in spite of a growing attendance at yoga classes, growing attendance at relaxation and meditation, growing awareness in organizations of the importance of posture and stress and work management. So there's a massive amount of body of work going into trying to prevent these things, and yet statistics show it's not working. And the answer to this, the question as to why it wouldn't work, becomes pretty simple. Now, if you look at how people approach each area of life, they will go to a master or a guru, and those gurus are spectacular, and I admire every single one of them. But quite often what the guru fixes in one area of life triggers let's say a reaction in another area of life that's not positive. For example, if you went to the Dalai Lama and said, my life is miserable and I want to be happy, the Dalai Lama would say, lower your expectation. That's a very simple Buddhist philosophy. It says, instead of wanting 6 diamond rings, want 1. If you've got 1, you're happy. If you want 6 and you've only got 1, you'll be unhappy. So the Dalai Lama's philosophy is spectacular. Now you run to work and you're sitting at the office and the boss comes in, or you're the boss, and you say, look, I'm not happy, the business isn't going well, what we'll do is we'll lower our expectation. That probably means you'll have to fire half your staff, you'll become uncompetitive in the market, and because your expectations have dropped, potentially, so too will the quality of service you provide. And the Dalai Lama is saying don't reduce service, increase service. So applying some of the teachings cross the boundaries of the different areas of life is fraught with danger. Now, what happens quite often is that we get a paradigm. Let's say our relationship isn't working and we go into some training and development and go and seek some help from one of the gurus in that area of life. And then we start to improve our relationship. Then we take that philosophy to work and try and run it at work. I'll give you another great example. Anthony Robbins, absolutely amazing man. Now, he'll say set goals. Set goals. Create expectations, set goals, and work towards them. Absolutely brilliant advice, and it works 100%. Now go home and look at your lover and your partner and your kids, and you start setting goals for them. Basically, setting a goal says what is currently in place is not good enough. What is currently in place is not good enough. And if you start to translate those goals into human development and start to say, you know, my goal is to help you be happier, or my goal is to change you, or my goal is to make you better at something, implied in that goal is the very thing that will cause your relationship to die. Appreciation and thankfulness for what is makes a relationship grow. setting goals and creating ever expanding expectations is what makes a business grow. So I think one of the problems that is occurring is that we're not linking the 7 areas of life. We're not linking growth. And we're getting people talking as if the solution they have for things is a panacea across all the boundaries of life. And in nature, in the true nature of a human being, this is not true. There are different sort of skills and different process to expand each area of life. And what I've done with the Wheel of Fortune is to actually say that if you trigger off some emotional upset or some emotional disturbance, the ripple effect will run right round all 7 areas of life. And I've given you in this 30-day challenge the process to let's say move to a higher level or move to a better place, not just at the place where the challenge came, but in all the 7 areas of life and all the 7 phases of life, and integrate the growth cycle. So why the Wheel of Fortune works really well is it stops you, when you get off track, it stops it spreading to other areas of life. Second thing, it stops being off track escalating to depression. Now, if you're going through some stuff and you've got some, having a downer, or there's some funk in your life, it's very easy if you hang on to that funk and just fiddle with it, or you go to a guru and fix it, but it just spreads to another area. It's very easy for funk to turn to depression, and then the depression to turn to sabotage. So what we're trying to do is catch it early so that we can reverse it. And another part of the Wheel of Fortune that's fantastic is if you implement this skill individually. So in other words, throughout the organization or the family, it means if one person gets in the funk or one person gets into a downer, they can actually do some self-correction and it doesn't infect the rest of the group. And I found after 30 years of corporate change process that one person in the funk going through a personal crisis can attract hundreds of people into their pity party, and next thing you know, we have a funk spread, and once it starts to spread, it becomes like an epidemic, and trying to reverse that epidemic is like trying to turn the Titanic around before it hits a block of ice. So what it involves, so we go through the 7 steps: examination of your emotional baggage, re-engagement of health, commitment to a healthy management of your environment, new investment in learning and education and your core expertise, getting back inspired about work and future opportunities, improved thinking, changing your inner dialogue, and your actions, finally your actions. Now that's a cycle, and we're going to do that in the 30-day challenge.